Hello, everyone. Today, we are going to discuss how to learn English. English learning can be enjoyable and simple if you follow a few steps. I will give you some tips to help you out. First, make it a habit to listen to English every day. When I was younger, I did not know any English. I felt worried, but I started listening to English stories. Gradually, I began to understand more and more. Listening is useful because it helps you pick up new words and learn how to say them correctly. Next, make speaking a daily practice. Back when I was learning, I spoke English despite making mistakes. Mistakes are part of the process, and they teach you how to improve, so do not be scared to speak up. Reading is another key part of learning. Begin with easy-to-read books. Books that include pictures can help you understand the story better. As you read, you get to learn new words and see how they are used in sentences. Writing is also a great way to practice. Write about your day, your friends, or your favorite things. The more you write, the more you improve. I used to write in a small notebook regularly, and it really helped me. Watching videos is both fun and educational. Try watching cartoons, films, or TV shows. You will hear how people talk and pick up new vocabulary. I once watched a cartoon about a clever cat, and I learned some useful phrases from it. Speaking with others is also helpful. Find people who speak English and practice talking with them. If you do not have anyone around, look for online friends to chat with. I had a friend who often pointed out my mistakes and helped me get better. Be patient with yourself. Mastering English takes time and effort. Do not give up when it feels tough. Keep moving forward, and you will make progress little by little. A dictionary can be a helpful tool when you learn new words. Each time you hear a word you do not know, search for it and try to use it in a sentence. Using a dictionary can help you expand your vocabulary. Playing English games is another way to learn while having fun. You can play word games or solve puzzles. I remember playing a word-finding game with my classmates, trying to come up with as many words as we could. Thinking in English is also a good habit to develop. At first, it might seem difficult, but it will become easier over time. Thinking directly in English helps you form sentences faster. It is important to set goals for yourself. Begin with small targets, like memorizing 5 new words every day or finishing 1 page of a book. Achieving these goals will make you feel proud of yourself. Do not forget to review what you have learned. Go through your notes or re-watch a story to refresh your memory. Revisiting old lessons will help you remember things better. Stay positive throughout the learning process. Even when it feels challenging, keep a positive mindset. Trust yourself and continue to push forward. Mistakes are just part of learning, so do not worry too much about them. Finally, practice every single day. The more you practice, the better you will get at speaking, writing, and understanding English. Keep moving forward and find joy in the journey. Enjoy your learning experience, and remember that each day of practice brings you closer to fluency. Keep up the good work. Chapter 2: Why Listening is Important. In this chapter, we are going to talk more about listening. Listening plays a vital role in learning English. When I first started learning English, I could not understand much. However, I made it a habit to listen every day. Little by little, I began to understand more. Listening is an effective way to boost your English skills. Why is listening so important? Well, listening allows you to hear new words and how they are pronounced. You also get to know how sentences are put together. This way, you pick up language faster. The more you listen, the more you will comprehend and speak English confidently. There are plenty of things you can listen to in English. You don't always need to read a book. You can choose to listen to stories, songs, or even the news. I started by listening to stories because they were simple at the beginning. Although I did not understand everything at first, I kept listening daily. As time went on, the words started to make sense. One of the best things I discovered is that listening helps you improve your speaking as well. When you pay attention while listening, you learn the correct pronunciation of words. You also catch the natural flow of the language, which makes you sound more fluent when you talk. Listening and speaking go hand in hand. To become good at speaking English, you need to practice listening as much as possible. There are different ways to practice listening. One way is to listen to English songs. Songs make learning enjoyable and help you pick up new vocabulary. They also let you hear the rhythm of spoken English. When I used to listen to songs, I did not always understand every word. But I kept listening, and after some time, I started to understand the lyrics better. Another way to practice listening is by watching TV shows or animated movies. These often use simple language and include visuals that make the content easier to grasp. I remember watching an animated series about a clever bird that solved mysteries. It was entertaining, and I learned plenty of new words from it. You can also practice listening by following the news in English. Although it can be challenging at first, it is a great way to push your skills. Do not worry if you cannot understand everything right away. Just keep listening. Try to choose short news clips and listen to them several times. This will help you catch more details each time. Podcasts are another wonderful option. Many podcasts are specially made for English learners and are spoken slowly and clearly. You can find podcasts about various subjects like cooking, travel, or hobbies. I used to listen to podcasts while doing everyday tasks like walking or cleaning. It made the learning experience more enjoyable. While listening, it is helpful to take notes. Write down any new words you come across. Make an effort to remember them and try using them in your own sentences. This will help you keep track of your progress. If you encounter a word you don't know, look it up in a dictionary. Once you understand its meaning, practice using it when you speak or write. One method I found useful was listening to the same content multiple times. Whether it was a song or a story, I would replay it again and again. Each time I listened, I noticed new details that I missed before. This technique helped me remember words better and understand them more clearly. Sometimes, it might feel overwhelming when you cannot understand everything. Especially in the beginning, it is natural to feel frustrated. But don't give up. Keep listening, and it will become easier. In the early stages of my learning journey, I faced similar challenges, but I stayed persistent. Eventually, I noticed that my comprehension was improving. If you feel discouraged because you are not getting everything right, remember that learning takes time. It is okay to make mistakes and not understand everything right away. Just continue practicing. The more you expose yourself to English, the better you will grasp both speaking and writing. Listening benefits you in many ways. It builds your vocabulary, shows you how to use words and sentences, and teaches you correct pronunciation. To make the most of it, create a habit of listening daily. Even listening for a few minutes every day can make a big difference. Develop the habit of listening to English regularly. You will see progress, though it might be slow at first. Don't worry if you don't catch every word or phrase. Just stay consistent, and your skills will grow. In the upcoming chapter, we will discuss another vital skill for mastering English, speaking. But for now, concentrate on listening. The more you listen, the more confident you will feel when understanding the language. Thank you for taking the time to read this chapter. Keep practicing your listening skills and enjoy the process of learning English. Chapter 3: The Importance of Speaking. In this chapter, we are going to discuss the importance of speaking. Speaking is one of the key skills in learning English. It allows you to practice using the words you know, which helps you get better at understanding and using English in everyday situations. When I was just beginning to learn English, I felt too scared to speak. I was afraid of making mistakes and worried that people would laugh. But I soon understood that making mistakes is completely normal. It is part of the learning process. The more you speak, the more progress you will make. So, don't worry about making mistakes when speaking English. It is completely okay. The most important step to becoming good at speaking English is to practice regularly. You don't have to practice for long hours. Just a few minutes each day will make a difference. When I was learning, I used to practice by talking out loud. Sometimes I spoke to myself, and other times I talked with others. It helped me get comfortable using English. Even if you don't know the right words, try speaking anyway. If you forget a word, explain it differently. You can use simple words to describe what you mean. For example, if you can't remember the word banana, you can say, "It's a long yellow fruit." Speaking helps you think in English faster. It also aids in remembering new vocabulary. Look for someone to practice speaking with. If you don't have English-speaking friends, you can find language partners online. There are many apps and websites where people connect to practice English. Once, I had a friend who spoke English fluently. We would talk every day, and she would help me correct my mistakes. Speaking with her made me feel more confident about my abilities. When you are speaking with someone, don't stress about making errors. People understand that you are learning, and they are usually supportive. Most of the time, they won't laugh at you. Mistakes are a natural part of language learning. If you make an error, just fix it and move forward. Another helpful way to practice speaking is to repeat sentences you hear in songs, movies, or podcasts. When you come across a sentence that sounds useful, say it aloud. You can repeat it as many times as you need. The more you practice repeating sentences, the better you will become at speaking clearly. You can also try practicing through role-playing. Pretend to order food at a restaurant or ask for help finding something in a store. If you do not have someone to practice with, do it alone. Imagine you are talking to someone and practice saying what you would in real situations. This will make you feel more comfortable when you actually need to speak to someone. Sometimes, it may be difficult to find someone to practice English with. But that's okay, you can still practice on your own. Talk to yourself about your daily activities or your plans for the next day. It might feel strange at first, but it really helps build your confidence. One of the most important things to remember is to be patient with yourself. When I started speaking English, it took me quite a while to feel comfortable. It doesn't happen overnight. Stay consistent with your practice, and little by little, you will get better. Mistakes are part of the process, so don't feel bad when they happen. Another good option is to join English speaking groups. Many communities have groups where people gather to practice speaking English. You can find these groups both online and locally. Practicing with others who are also learning will make you feel less nervous and more motivated. You can share tips and learn from each other. Another valuable tip is to listen to how native speakers talk. Pay attention to how they pronounce words, their intonation, and their speaking speed. You will notice that they have a natural rhythm, and this will help you sound more fluent. A great way to build confidence is to read aloud. Choose an easy book or a short article and practice speaking by reading it out loud. This will help you practice your pronunciation and make you feel more comfortable using English. The more you do this, the more confident you will become. If you feel shy, try practicing in front of a mirror. Look at yourself as you speak. It might seem odd, but it really helps reduce anxiety about speaking English. It is a safe way to practice without feeling judged. Another effective method is to practice speaking through video calls. If you can find someone to chat with, give it a try. Video calls are helpful because they let you practice both speaking and listening at the same time. Plus, seeing the other person's face and body language can make the conversation feel more real and engaging. Set small goals to keep yourself motivated. For example, start by speaking for just 5 minutes each day. Gradually increase the time as you gain more confidence. When I was learning, I started with a few minutes daily and then extended it as I felt more comfortable. Everyone learns at their own speed, so don't feel discouraged if others seem to improve faster. Focus on your progress and keep trying. Consistency is the key to getting better at speaking English. One more important tip is to make speaking fun. Try to talk about topics you like or things that interest you. Whether it's your favorite sports, movies, or hobbies, discussing enjoyable subjects makes learning feel less like a chore. So, practice every day without fear of making mistakes. Each mistake helps you learn something new. Keep practicing and stay confident. You will notice improvement over time, and soon you will speak English without hesitation. Thank you for reading. Keep practicing your speaking skills daily, and you will see great progress in your English abilities. Chapter 4: The Power of Reading. In this chapter, we are going to talk about reading. Reading is one of the best ways to improve your English. It helps you learn new words, understand how sentences are made, and get better at grammar. Reading also gives you more confidence when using English. When I started learning English, I began with simple books. At first, it was really challenging because I did not know many words. But I did not give up. I kept reading every day, even when I did not fully understand the text. Slowly, I started to make sense of more words and sentences. Reading helps you pick up new vocabulary. When you read, you see words used in different sentences. You can learn how these words fit into real conversations. If you come across a word you don't know, don't panic. Try to guess what it means from the sentence. If that does not work, look it up in a dictionary. Doing this will help you remember the word. Start with books that are easy for you. Choose books made for kids or short stories that are simple to follow. These types of books usually have pictures that help explain the story, making it easier to understand even if you don't know all the words. When I was learning, I often picked books with pictures because they made the experience more enjoyable. Try reading out loud as you go through the pages. Saying the words helps you practice speaking and pronunciation. It also makes it easier to remember the words. I used to read simple stories out loud to myself, and it helped me a lot. It made me feel more comfortable speaking English. Reading also helps you become a better writer. By seeing how sentences are put together, you learn how to write your own. As you continue reading, you will get better at making good sentences yourself. Use the new words you pick up from reading to write your own simple sentences. If you are just beginning to learn English, don't worry if you don't get everything right away. It is normal to not understand all the words at first. Keep reading, and soon it will feel easier. The more you practice, the more progress you will see. One helpful tip is to choose books that match your interests. If you like animals, find stories about animals. If sports are your thing, look for books on that topic. When you read about subjects you enjoy, it makes learning more fun and helps you remember words related to that topic. You can also read blogs, online articles, or magazines written in English. These are great for picking up everyday language. Websites and blogs usually use simple words that are easy to follow. Start with short posts and gradually move on to longer ones as you improve. If you don't have many English books, don't worry. There are plenty of free options online. You can find digital books and stories that are easy to read. You can also download apps that have books specifically designed for learners. These apps guide you step by step, which is really helpful. It is very important to read every day. Even if it's just 1 or 2 pages, it will make a difference. The more you read, the more you will learn. Try to make reading part of your daily routine. Back when I was learning, I read for about 10 minutes each day. As I got better, I read for longer periods. This practice gave me more confidence in my language skills. Sometimes, you might feel discouraged if you don't understand something. That's perfectly okay. Don't let it stop you. Keep reading even if it feels hard. The key is to stay consistent and keep going. Over time, things will get easier. As you keep reading, you will naturally learn many new words. Make it a habit to use these words when you talk or write. This will help you remember them and make your language skills stronger. When reading, try to understand the meaning of entire sentences rather than focusing on single words. Sentences often give context that helps you figure out the meaning. Understanding the whole idea makes it easier to learn how words work together. You can also try reading books that come with audio. These books read the text to you while you follow along. This helps you practice both listening and reading at the same time. You can hear how words are pronounced and see how they are written, which makes learning more effective. Another good way to practice reading is by using ebooks. Some ebooks allow you to click on words to see their definitions, making it quicker to learn new vocabulary without stopping your reading. This feature keeps your focus on the story while still helping you understand difficult words. Don't worry if you can't read quickly. The speed of reading does not matter as much as understanding the content. Take your time to fully grasp the story and learn the words. Reading slowly helps you absorb more and remember better. When I was working on my English, I kept a notebook where I wrote down any new words I came across. I would also jot down their meanings and use them in my own sentences. This made it easier to recall those words later and use them naturally. Reading is an amazing way to build your English skills. It is both fun and educational. Always start with simple books, keep reading daily, and most importantly, enjoy the process. As you continue, you will notice your English getting better and better. Thank you for taking the time to read this chapter. I hope it encourages you to practice reading in English. Keep it up, and soon you will see great progress. Chapter 5: The Importance of Writing. In this chapter, we are going to focus on writing. Writing is an essential part of learning English. It helps you put into practice the words and sentences you have learned. Writing also gives you the chance to use English differently, helping you remember what you have studied. When I first began learning English, I made it a habit to write every day. At the start, it wasn't easy. I made quite a few mistakes, but I did not stop trying. I kept writing simple sentences and short stories. Gradually, I got better at it. Writing daily really helped me improve over time. Start by writing small, simple things. You can write about your routine. For example, describe what you did in the morning, afternoon, or evening. You could also write about your family, your best friend, or something you enjoy. The most important thing is to keep writing each day. Writing is an effective way to practice grammar. As you write, you naturally pay attention to how sentences are made. You also get the chance to practice using punctuation marks like periods, commas, and question marks. The more you practice, the better you will become at using grammar correctly. Don't worry too much about mistakes when you start writing. Mistakes are a natural part of the learning process. Everyone makes errors when picking up a new language. What truly matters is that you keep going. If you spot a mistake, just fix it and continue writing. Writing helps you see the areas where you can improve. Another good way to practice is by keeping a diary. A diary is a personal space where you can write down your thoughts and ideas. You can write about anything that comes to mind. It is your own place to practice English. I used to write in my diary every day, sharing my feelings, dreams, and memories. It was a great way to practice and develop my writing skills. You can also write short stories to make writing more fun. Start with simple stories about things you know well. It could be a story about a sunny day at the park or a funny event at school. Writing stories allows you to use the words you know in a creative way. Plus, it makes the process enjoyable. Another useful way to practice writing is by composing letters or emails. You can write letters to your friends or family members in English. If you do not have anyone to write to, try writing letters to yourself. It is a great way to practice forming sentences and using new words. One thing that really helps is to read your own writing after you finish. Go back and look over what you wrote. This allows you to spot mistakes and think about how to write better next time. Making changes to your own work helps you build stronger writing habits. Writing with a friend can also be helpful. If you know someone who is also learning English, write letters or messages to each other. You can check each other's writing and suggest ways to make it better. Working with someone else makes writing less lonely and more enjoyable. If you are not sure what to write about, don't worry. Choose topics that you like. You can write about your hobbies, your favorite meal, or even your plans for the weekend. Writing about things you enjoy makes it easier to learn new words and put them into sentences. When I was studying English, I made a list of words that were new to me. I wrote them down and made sentences using those words. This method helped me remember them much better. You can do the same by keeping a small notebook where you jot down new words and phrases. Writing is also great for practicing spelling. As you write, you need to spell words correctly. If you are unsure about a word, look it up. A dictionary or a language app can be useful for this. The more you write, the better your spelling will get. Try practicing writing with different verb tenses. For example, you can write in the past tense, present tense, or future tense. Writing sentences in various tenses helps you practice using verbs correctly. For instance, write, I played soccer yesterday, past tense, or I will visit my grandma tomorrow, future tense. One simple way to improve your writing is to read it out loud. When you hear yourself, you can tell if something sounds strange or incorrect. Reading aloud also helps you practice your pronunciation while improving your writing skills at the same time. One interesting way to practice is by describing what you see. If you are walking outside, write about the things around you. Talk about the weather, the colors, the people you pass, or the buildings nearby. This practice helps you use new words and describe things naturally. As you keep writing regularly, you will notice that your sentences start to become longer and more detailed. You will also find that you are using more complex words and phrases. Writing helps you think in English and express your thoughts more clearly. It is normal to make mistakes when writing. Don't be scared of them. Mistakes are part of the process, and they help you learn. The most important thing is to continue writing, even if it feels difficult. The more you practice, the better you will become at expressing your ideas. If you feel that your writing is not good enough, don't let it stop you. Becoming good at writing takes time and practice. Stay consistent, and you will notice improvement. So, start writing every single day. Choose topics that make you feel excited and motivated. Practice using new words, pay attention to your grammar, and most of all, enjoy the process. The more you practice, the more skilled you will become at writing in English. Thank you for taking the time to read this chapter. I hope it helps you feel more confident about writing in English. Keep writing, keep practicing, and soon it will feel like second nature. Chapter 6: Speaking English with Confidence. In this chapter, we will discuss how to speak English confidently. Speaking is an essential skill because it allows you to communicate with others. When you practice speaking English, you put what you have learned into use, and this helps you become more skilled in the language. When I started learning English, I was very timid. I was afraid of making mistakes, so I hardly spoke. But I soon realized that making errors is a natural part of learning. Everyone makes mistakes. It's perfectly fine. The most important thing is to keep speaking and practicing. If you want to become good at speaking English, you need to practice daily. The more you speak, the more confident you will feel. It doesn't matter if you make errors. The key is to keep trying. I began speaking English every day, even if it was just a few simple phrases. Over time, I felt more comfortable and gained confidence. A good way to start practicing is by talking to yourself. It may sound odd, but it's a great method to get used to speaking English. In the morning, try saying easy sentences like, I am feeling good today, or I will make breakfast now. This routine helps you get accustomed to forming sentences in English. Another effective way to practice is by chatting with friends. If you have friends who know English, try speaking to them as much as you can. Even if your sentences are not perfect, they will understand and may even help you improve. When I was practicing, I took every chance to speak English with my friends. It made a big difference. If you do not have friends who speak English, do not worry. You can find language partners online. There are numerous websites and apps where you can meet other learners who also want to practice. You can chat by text or even make video calls. This is a fantastic way to develop your speaking skills. When speaking English, focus on speaking slowly and clearly. Do not rush your words. It is more important to be understood than to speak quickly. Take your time to pronounce each word correctly. If you forget a word, it's okay. Just use other words to explain what you mean. Never be afraid to give it a try. One helpful tip is to listen to native English speakers. By listening to how they speak, you can learn proper pronunciation and understand how to use words naturally. Try watching English movies, listening to songs, or tuning into podcasts. Then, repeat what you hear. This practice will improve your speaking skills significantly. If there are specific words that are difficult to pronounce, focus on practicing them repeatedly. For instance, if you struggle with sounds like th in words like think or that, practice saying them over and over. The more you practice, the easier it will become. You can also find videos online that teach pronunciation techniques. Speaking English can sometimes feel challenging, but don't give up. Mistakes are just part of the learning journey. Keep speaking even if you stumble over words. The more you talk, the more natural it will feel. Eventually, you will find it much easier to communicate in English. It is also beneficial to practice speaking in various situations. For example, pretend you are ordering food at a restaurant or asking for help at a store. Real-life situations give you practical experience and boost your confidence when you need to speak English outside of practice. Feeling nervous is completely normal, even for people who speak English well. Remember, they were once beginners too, just like you. Everyone goes through the same challenges. The more you practice, the more confident you will become. Just keep pushing forward. One thing that helped me a lot was joining an English speaking group. These groups are available both online and offline. They offer a safe space to practice with other learners. You can share tips, learn new words, and practice speaking without feeling judged. Joining a group really helped me become more comfortable speaking English. Another way to practice is by reading out loud. Choose a simple book or short article and read it aloud. This not only improves your pronunciation, but also helps you get used to speaking in English. You can also practice by repeating dialogues from movies or shows. Pretend to be one of the characters and try to mimic how they speak. If you ever find yourself stuck or confused, don't hesitate to ask questions. Whether you don't know how to say something or are unsure about a word, ask for help. Most people will gladly assist you. Never feel embarrassed about asking questions. It's an important part of learning. When I was building my speaking skills, I made it a goal to practice English for at least 10 minutes every day. At first, I felt a bit awkward and nervous, but after a few weeks, I noticed that I was becoming more comfortable. I spoke with family, friends, and even strangers when I had the chance. This consistent effort made me progress quickly. Learning to speak English takes time and dedication. Set small goals for yourself, like learning 5 new words each week and using them in conversations. Little by little, you will notice improvement in your speaking ability. One more helpful strategy is to think in English during your daily routine. When you are doing chores or just relaxing, try forming thoughts in English. This habit helps you practice even when you are not talking out loud. Eventually, thinking in English will become more natural to you. Lastly, don't forget to enjoy the process. Speaking English should not feel like a burden. Have fun talking with friends, joining conversation groups, or even practicing alone. The more you enjoy it, the easier it will be to stay motivated. Keep speaking confidently, and soon it will feel effortless. Thank you for reading this chapter. I hope it helps you gain more confidence when speaking English. Keep practicing every day, and you will see amazing progress. Chapter 7. Reading to Learn English. In this chapter, we will discuss the importance of reading. Reading is a valuable skill when it comes to learning English. It helps you pick up new words, understand how grammar works, and see how sentences are put together. The more you read, the stronger your English skills will become. When I started learning English, I read many books. At first, I chose simple ones. They used easy words and had pictures to help me follow the story. As my skills improved, I moved on to more challenging books. But I always began with easy texts, and you should do the same. Start by selecting books that are simple and enjoyable. Picture books are a great option because they make it easier to guess the story, even if you don't know every word. Looking at the pictures can help you understand what is happening, and this will help you pick up new vocabulary and ideas. In the beginning, you don't need to read long books. Try short stories, comics, or even children's books. These types of books use basic words and short sentences, making them simple to follow and good for practicing your reading. As you read, make it a habit to read out loud. This will not only help you with pronunciation, but also train you to say words correctly. When you come across a new word, try saying it aloud. If you aren't sure how to pronounce it, look it up to get it right. Speaking the words will make them stick in your mind. If you encounter a word you don't know, don't stress. It's normal. You can try to figure out the meaning from the sentence or picture. If that doesn't work, use a dictionary to find the answer. Write down the new word and use it in a sentence to help you remember. When I was studying English, I carried a small notebook with me. Whenever I saw a word I didn't recognize, I wrote it down along with its meaning and an example sentence. This method helped me remember many new words and made it easier to use them later. As you continue reading, you will notice that you are picking up new concepts. You will see how sentences are structured and how words change depending on their use. For example, you will learn the difference between I go and I went. Understanding these differences will make grammar clearer. It's a good idea to read about topics that interest you. If you like animals, look for stories or articles about them. If sports excite you, read about your favorite players or teams. When you read things you enjoy, it feels less like studying and more like having fun. If you are unsure of what to read, start with simple websites or apps designed for English learners. There are many sites that offer easy-to-read stories. They often come with vocabulary lists to help you learn new words. Start with short articles, and as you get better, move on to more complex texts. Try to make reading a daily habit, even if it's just for 10 or 15 minutes. Reading regularly helps you build your vocabulary and improve your understanding of longer sentences. The more you practice, the better you will get. Another great way to practice is by reading with a friend. You can take turns reading parts of a story or article. This way, you can help each other with difficult words and better understand the content. Reading together also improves your speaking skills since you practice saying words out loud. You can also try reading simple news stories in English. Many websites write news in a way that is easy for learners to follow. Reading news stories helps you learn new vocabulary that is commonly used in the world today. Plus, it gives you a chance to understand what is happening around you. Sometimes reading can feel a bit overwhelming, especially when you don't understand everything. That's okay. Remember that it takes time to get better. Keep pushing through, even when it feels hard. Every time you read, you are improving, and soon it will become easier. Try combining reading with listening by choosing books that come with audio. These books let you listen to the story while following along with the text. This method helps you learn how words sound and how sentences flow. It's like practicing both reading and listening at the same time. Setting small reading goals can keep you motivated. For example, aim to read 1 page a day or learn 5 new words each time you read. Reaching your goals will make you feel proud and encourage you to continue. A fun way to practice reading is by choosing comics or graphic novels. They are filled with pictures and use simple words, making it easier to follow the story. Comics also use casual language, which helps you learn how people speak in real life. Choosing books that match your interests will make reading more enjoyable. When you find a story you like, you will want to keep reading. This natural motivation will help you learn more without feeling pressured. Don't shy away from stories that seem a little hard. You can always ask for help if you come across tricky words. The more time you spend reading, the better your English will get. Reading helps you learn new words, sharpen your grammar, and improve your speaking. So, make reading a regular part of your routine and have fun while doing it. Thank you for taking the time to read this chapter. I hope it inspires you to enjoy reading in English and find it helpful for your learning journey. Keep practicing every day, and you will see amazing results. Chapter 8: Writing in English. In this chapter, we will focus on writing in English. Writing is an essential part of learning the language because it allows you to use the words and grammar you have learned. It also helps you build confidence when expressing yourself in English. When I first started learning English, I felt uneasy about writing. I was unsure how to begin, but I quickly realized that the more I practiced, the better I got. Writing is similar to speaking. You don't need to worry about making mistakes. All you need to do is keep practicing. To get started, begin with simple sentences. You can write about your daily activities or things you enjoy. For example, you might write, "Today I cooked dinner," or "I love reading books." These are short and simple sentences, but they help you build your writing skills. The most important thing is to write consistently every day. If you are unsure what to write about, consider writing about your family, your favorite hobbies, or the foods you like the most. It doesn't matter what the topic is, as long as you are writing something. You can also write about your dreams or what you did over the weekend. Just put down whatever comes to your mind. When writing, use the words you already know. Don't worry if your vocabulary is limited. Start with simple words and phrases. As you continue to practice, you will naturally learn new words. Over time, your sentences will become longer and more detailed. When I was learning English, I kept a small notebook with me. I wrote in it every single day. I wrote about my school life, my friends, and my family. Sometimes I also wrote about my future plans and dreams. At first, my writing was quite basic, but as I practiced more, I became able to write more complex sentences. Mistakes are part of the learning journey, so don't stress about them. Mistakes actually help you grow. After you finish writing, read through your sentences again. If you notice any errors, try to correct them. This way, you learn from your own writing. You can also ask someone you trust, like a friend, teacher, or family member, to review your work and give feedback. A great way to improve your writing skills is by keeping a diary or journal. In it, you can write about your daily experiences, how you feel, or anything on your mind. This is a fun and stress-free way to practice writing regularly. You don't need to worry about grammar or spelling, just focus on expressing yourself. Try to move beyond just writing single sentences. Write small paragraphs as well. For example, you can write about an interesting day at school or your favorite movie. A good paragraph usually has a beginning, a middle, and an end. This structure helps you organize your ideas clearly. When constructing sentences, be mindful of the structure. In English, a basic sentence usually consists of a subject, a verb, and an object. For example, AI, subject, read, verb, books, object. This is a simple way to build sentences, but as you practice, you will learn how to create longer and more detailed sentences. Another useful way to practice writing is by answering questions. After reading a story or an article, try writing down your thoughts about it. You can answer questions like, what did you think of the story? What do you think might happen next? Doing this helps you practice writing in English while also making you think in English. When I was practicing, I used to write short stories. They were very simple at the start, but they gave me a lot of practice. You can write stories too, even if they are short. Write about something that makes sense to you, like a day at the beach, a pet you love, or even an imaginary adventure. Writing letters or emails is another great way to build your writing skills. You can write letters to friends or family, sharing your thoughts or asking them questions. Even if you don't have anyone to write to, you can write letters to yourself as a way to practice. There are many online tools and apps that offer writing exercises to help you improve. You can practice writing short essays, stories, or even simple messages. The more you write, the more confident you will become. Make sure to use the correct punctuation when writing. Proper punctuation helps make your sentences clear and easy to read. For instance, end a sentence with a period, dot symbol. Use a question mark. For questions, separate ideas with commas, comma symbol. Good punctuation makes your writing look clean and professional. It's also helpful to read your writing out loud after finishing. This will help you notice any mistakes or parts that sound awkward. If something doesn't sound right, make adjustments. Reading aloud helps improve both your writing and pronunciation. Another good strategy is to look at how other people write. Read simple books, articles, or even social media posts in English. Notice how sentences are formed and how ideas are expressed. Then, try to use similar sentence structures in your own writing. Always remember that writing is a skill that improves with regular practice. The more you write, the more your skills will develop. So, don't hesitate to write every day. You can write in a journal, compose short stories, or even draft messages. With consistent practice, you will gain confidence and become better at expressing yourself through writing. Thank you for reading this chapter. I hope it inspires you to start writing in English. Remember, it's perfectly okay to make mistakes. Just keep practicing, and you will get better over time. Writing is a fantastic way to learn and share your thoughts in English. Learning English is a journey that takes time, dedication, and consistent practice. Throughout the previous chapters, we have explored various skills essential for mastering the language: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Each of these skills plays a crucial role in helping learners become fluent and confident in English. Let's summarize the key lessons and practical methods that can help you make the most of your learning experience. 1. Listening, the foundation of fluency. Listening is a fundamental skill because it exposes you to new words, sentence structures, and pronunciation patterns. The more you listen, the more familiar you become with how English sounds and flows. An effective way to practice is by listening to English songs, podcasts, or audiobooks. You don't have to understand every word at first, just focus on the rhythm and intonation. For example, try listening to a short podcast while cooking or exercising. Write down a few words or phrases you find interesting and practice repeating them. Over time, your listening skills will improve, and your confidence in understanding spoken English will grow. 2. Speaking. Practice makes perfect. Speaking is often the most challenging skill, but it is essential for real-life communication. The best way to overcome fear is to practice speaking every day, even if it is just talking to yourself. Start with simple sentences like, "I am making breakfast," or "Today is a sunny day." Gradually increase the length and complexity of your sentences. If you have a friend who speaks English, practice together by discussing your day or talking about a movie you watched. Another great idea is to record yourself speaking and then listen to it. This helps you identify areas for improvement and track your progress. 3. Reading, expanding your vocabulary. Reading is an excellent way to learn new words, understand grammar, and see how sentences are structured. Start with simple books, like children's stories or short articles, and gradually move on to more complex texts as your skills improve. An effective strategy is to read aloud, which also helps with pronunciation. For instance, choose a short story and read it out loud while paying attention to how the sentences flow. Keep a notebook where you write down new words, their meanings, and sentences using those words. This practice helps reinforce your learning and makes it easier to remember new vocabulary. 4. Writing, expressing your thoughts. Writing allows you to put your thoughts into words and practice using grammar correctly. Start by writing short sentences about your daily routine or hobbies. Gradually move on to writing paragraphs and short stories. Keeping a journal is an excellent way to build your writing habit. For example, write about your plans for the weekend or describe your favorite activity. Don't worry too much about mistakes. Instead, focus on expressing your ideas. Later, review your writing to find and fix errors, and ask someone for feedback when possible. 5. Building confidence and staying motivated. Building confidence in English requires persistence and a positive mindset. Celebrate your small achievements and learn from your mistakes. Instead of worrying about speaking perfectly, focus on getting your message across. Set small, manageable goals to keep yourself motivated, such as learning 5 new words a week or practicing speaking for 10 minutes a day. 6. Practical tips for everyday learning. Integrate English into your daily life to make learning more natural. Change the language on your phone to English, watch English videos with subtitles, and practice thinking in English throughout the day. Find a language partner online or join a group where people practice English together. The more you immerse yourself in the language, the more fluent you will become. Final thoughts. Mastering English is not an impossible task. It just takes dedication and regular practice. Whether you are listening to a podcast, speaking to a friend, reading a story, or writing a journal entry, every bit of practice helps. Stay curious, stay motivated, and don't be afraid to make mistakes. Keep learning and growing every day, and soon you will find yourself speaking and writing English with confidence. Remember, the key to success is persistence and the willingness to keep going despite challenges. You've got this. Keep practicing and enjoying the process.